Hi there, and welcome to Apple World. You all, it seems as though Diddy isn't finished being uncovered at this point. However, you all won't really accept that who is uncovering him now is, in all honesty, Craig Mack. That is, who better believes it? I realize that Craig died several years ago, yet it seems as though his phantom is back to get Diddy on the grounds that with everything that has been going on, individuals are at long last perceiving how Diddy supposedly attempted to destroy Craig's life and vocation, and get this, Craig truly attempted to caution us about Diddy before he died, yet we weren't exactly focusing. I swear, each time it begins to seem as though we have at long last opened up the last obscure piece of the riddle in Diddy's story. Something new springs up that advises us that there is still significantly more of which we don't have any idea, and there are more individuals that Diddy insulted and root to the top, and Craig Mack is one of such individuals. Craig was endorsed by Terrible Kid Records after he met Diddy at a Manhattan club called Mecca around then. Diddy was simply attempting to get his Terrible Kid name kicking, and Diddy asked Craig to free form for him. On the spot, Craig gobbled up the free form, and Diddy was dazzled, so he marked him as Terrible Kid. Craig dropped his hit tune Flavor in Your Ear under Terrible Kid Records, and the melody was a gigantic hit, procuring him a Grammy designation. The tune was fruitful to the point that Diddy had Craig remix it, this time highlighting other new Terrible Kid specialists like Biggie Smalls, and the remix was likewise a triumph. By then, Diddy attempted to market Craig and Biggie Smalls as best friends, and he would frequently spread the story in the media that they were old buddies. However, as a general rule, this couldn't be further from the case in light of the fact that Craig and Biggie couldn't stand each other. As a matter of fact, Biggie uncovered that he would even not like to do the Flavor in Your Ear remix. However, he was forced by Diddy to do it. To be fair, Craig would have rather not done it either, yet Diddy requested them to get in the corner, and they had no way out. I saw, like on the remix Seasoning Your Ear I work. I was simply something I needed to do. You have at least some idea what I'm talking about. That is legislative issues. Puff requested that I do it. I didn't. Did he even allude to them as his establishments, guaranteeing that the two of them held Awful Kid Records down establishment? You understand what I'm talking about. It's my life here. We as a whole need each other to pour a ton of time and energy into, and that is the manner in which we treat each other well. Turns out that the establishment was hella flimsy in light of the fact that not long after that interview circulated, Craig left Terrible Kid Records, and despite the fact that he didn't approach defaming Diddy, and the mark, we as a whole realized that there was something off-putting happening between those two. At the time, we had hardly any familiarity with Diddy and his exercises, yet understanding what we know now about him, it ought not be all that astonishing that he and Craig had dropped out. I mean, consider it. Most Terrible Kid craftsmen left the mark with a harsh desire for their mouths. He hung Tanya blown on with counterfeit commitments of delivering her collection. He would not pay Mace his cash, and he, in a real sense, outlined trying to please go to jail for something that Diddy supposedly did. Afterward, when Sparkle was in jail, Diddy dropped him from the name Youngster Diddy was around here, moving like a miscreant right under our actual noses, and we had no clue. No doubt, Craig could have been one of the principal craftsmen to leave Terrible Kid based on terrible conditions. However, he without a doubt wasn't the last anyone who, subsequent to leaving Awful Kid, Craig began to talk on his involvement with the name, yet he was savvy enough not to come hard and fast and say it, since he presumably realized what planned to occur. Rather, he talked in cold, discussing how there was an individual who needed to do a collection with him, yet the individual did him messy. He didn't name Diddy yet. He didn't need to, in light of the fact that we as a whole knew who he was talking about. I got with someone, you understand what I'm talking about. I won't say their names. I'm about to say someone that needed to do one more collection with me. So I said, cool. I gave him my cost, and the value was, to me, was low, you know, and it expected to give me the cash. Furthermore, I go in the studio and I begin banging out. So he came to me and resembled you. I can cut you 33% of the cash I should give you. I said, you understand which man I maintain that should do these tunes. So as per Craig, the secret individual being referred to came up short on him, yet he still accepted the position just for the other party not to get together with the states of installment to exacerbate it. The other individual began taking steps to hurt Craig, and it reached a place where he was completely persuaded that he was in peril. Lear, I would rather not do this yet. On the off chance that it comes to getting terrible where someone will be attempting to me, I must accomplish something first, or effectively keep that from reoccurring. He didn't get down on Diddy or notice him by name. However, come on, you all. It's basically Impossible that individuals didn't have the foggiest idea who he was alluding to, yet, despite the fact that Craig was attempting to stay away from so much show as he couldn't, everyone felt the same way since Diddy's previous protector Jean Bargain was glad to step into the gathering visit and uncover Diddy. Now, on the off chance that there is somebody who lives for uncovering Diddy, it's Jean Bargain, because that man has been returning his to ensuring that each and every one of Diddy's obscure mysteries becomes visible. And you understand why I'm hanging around for it, because you all realize that I live for the show. Anyway, who Jean guaranteed that the genuine explanation that Diddy and Craig had a run-in was that Craig wasn't going to be a weakling and allow Diddy to do anything. He got a kick out of the chance to him. Jean asserted that things between Diddy and Craig deteriorated when Craig changed his supervisor to somebody he accepted would be better for him. Diddy could have done without this and requested that he fire the director right away. Yet Craig put his foot down on that and would not move. They had a decent relationship until Craig Mack changed his chief. When Craig Mack changed his supervisor, Puff could have done without him for reasons unknown. He didn't. He told Craig, "Yo, on the off chance that you don't know your chief. You can't work for Terrible Kid," so Craig was having issues since he wouldn't fire his director. Now you all realize that Diddy is something of an obsessive-compulsive person, and he could have done without Craig confronting him. This set off an extremely muddled series of occasions that in the long run prompted Craig, leaving the name tragically. Craig died at age 47, so we won't ever get the full image of the things that Diddy did to him. However, while Craig hasn't arrived to recount the full story, we really do realize that he was extremely unpleasant at Diddy until the day he passed. He was mad to such an extent that he gave express guidelines before he passed that Diddy, or any other person in the business besides, was not to be permitted to his burial service. Kid, do you have any idea how terrible it is for a withering man to restrict you from his burial service? Definitely, that is how you all realize that Diddy did Craig filthy big time, since he took that hamburger to the grave. And that is me being strict. When he died, celebs offered their appreciation via virtual entertainment. True to form, yet to our most prominent amazement, not one of them made an appearance to the genuine burial service. Not even Diddy. DJ Scratch was the just well-known face at the memorial service, and he later came online to guarantee that Diddy had no clue about when the memorial service was. He likewise asserted that Diddy had attempted to assist Craig's family with paying for the memorial service expenses, yet he was turned down. He composed, "When I passed on Craig's remembrance administration, I called Diddy to say thanks to him for giving Craig the stage for the world to know Craig Max's music. I let him know I just left the assistants." He said they covered Craig as of now. What administration are we referring to? He had close to zero familiarity with about the dedication administration did he proposition to pay for Craig Mack's burial service, yet the strict local area Craig was in declined. His companions or partners were not really permitted to go to his memorial service anyway. Jean Bargain emerged to expound more on this, asserting that Craig's issue was with Diddy and individuals who had connections to Diddy. Craig Mack told his kin to let those strict individuals know that you shouldn't allow them to pay for brains. I don't believe they should pay in vain for my passing. So it wasn't like Craig was prohibiting everybody from the memorial service. It was simply Diddy and his partners, since he realized that Diddy planned to attempt to pursue clout when he died, and he was correct about that. I mean, isn't it odd that Diddy, who hadn't addressed Craig in years since he left Terrible Kid Records on a very terrible note, was unexpectedly proposing? Subscribe Apple World for more videos.